TikTok, time to rock. You said it right. You said it right, Nick Parker. Nick Parker said TikTok, time to rock. Hold up. Is that Nick Parker? Or is that Mick Foley? You guys even know who Mick Foley is?
Nah, son.
You never watched wrestling? Idea. You didn't know
no.
Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love?
Oh, that's like super old school. That's like superstar Billy Graham days.
No, it's not that old. He was the Rock's tag team partner. They had the Rock and Sock connection. He had this sock that he would keep down his pants, and then when he was his special move was pulling that sock out from his junk and then putting it on his hand and then shoving it down people's face and down people's mouth. Yeah, it was pretty nasty. It was almost as nasty as Rikishi, whose special move was smearing his butt crack in people's faces because he wore like this thong. Anyway, that's totally off topic, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally off topic.
Lord.
But Nick Parker, you look like Mick Foley, unless you stole Mick Foley's picture. All right, how's everyone doing? Oh yeah. It's my birthday. Yeah, I see everyone saying happy birthday, David.
Yeah. It's your
44 birthday. Big ones.
44?
40,
don't lie.
44,
you ain't gotta lie
man.
about your age.
You gotta lie. And you know what's cool? 44, that's like Dirty Harry's gun. So I feel like I have to be especially powerful this year. You know what I mean?
Fo.
44.
You know, but really you're 64, so stop lying.
Hey, you now, John, you're a young buck. Do you even know what we're talking about when we're talking about like Dirty Harry and stuff?
Nah, son. That's old man talk.
You don't know about that? Okay.
Go ahead, punk.
Yeah,
Make my day.
You heard that?
You know that?
I've heard that, but I don't know who started
okay,
it.
Dirty Harry.
I'll go ahead and break it down just because it's my birthday. So this is a movie called Dirty Harry, and the idea is he's like a great detective, but he's like a total dirtbag, right? The guy's just a dirtbag, right? And he'll do all sorts of horrible stuff. Well, he's in a coffee shop getting some coffee, and then he sees some guys jump out of a car and run into a bank, and he knows it's a robbery, and he tells the guy, and he tells the guy behind the counter, he says, go and call the police. And the guy says, what should I tell him? He goes, tell them there's a shooting in progress. Anyway, these guys come run out the bank. Dirty Harry starts gunning them down with his .44 Magnum, right? Boom, 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 right? He's shooting. And then one guy lands on the ground, and Dirty Harry comes over with his .44 Magnum pointed at the dude, and then he goes, I know what you're thinking, punk. Did he fire 6 shots or just 5? Right, because he has a revolver, and you can see the guy's thinking, right? Did he fire 6 shots? In which case, I can grab my shotgun and blow him away, or did he fire 5? In which case, if I reach for my shotgun, he's going to blow my head off. And so Dirty Harry gives his famous line, I know what you're thinking, punk. Did he fire 6 shots or just 5? Well, to tell you the truth, I kind of lost count in all the excitement. But seeing as how this is a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, it can blow your head clean off, you ought to be asking yourself just one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? And then the guy totally punks out. He backs down, and then he goes, I gots to know. And Dirty Harry walks right over to him, puts the gun to his head, and goes, click. So Dirty Harry knew he was out of bullets, and he just went through that line to keep the guy from reaching for the gun. Anyway, that's where that famous line comes from.
Gotcha. Dirty Harry sounds like an OG.
You know, it's funny. I watched that when I was a kid, and I still remember that whole scene right there because it was pretty dope.
Anyway. He's kind of an awful person, though. Really, he's
that's why I would like them as a kid.
Sort of
see what happens. Not let my kids watch Dirty Harry.
Yeah, he's a perfect anti-hero. Matter of fact, there's a scene where a guy's about to commit suicide. Because you don't know why they call him Dirty Harry, except he's like calling people names and he's a total racist and things like that. And anyway, there's a guy who's about to jump off a building and he has the lift him up there. And the guy's like, I'm going to jump. And he's like, I don't care if you jump. I just want your name so I can notify people because you're going to be hard to identify after you hit the ground. And there's going to be parts of you laying all over the place. Anyway, he starts messing with the dude until the dude like gets enraged at him. As soon as he leans forward, Dirty Harry punches him in his face and knocks him out and then just holds him on the edge as he lowers it back down. Then he walks to his partner and he goes, now you know why they call me Dirty Harry. Because the guy was wondering why they called him Dirty Harry. So, yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah, he's pretty gangsta. All right, well, let's just say hi to everyone. Steven says hello.
Hello.
Zeke
What's up,
says.
Steve?
Zeke says, "Woo shoo flu." We are the Flu Tank Clan. Flu Tank Clan ain't nothing to cough on. Guys, remember? Flu Tank Clan ain't nothing to cough on.
Ain't nothing to cough with.
Well, yeah, if you were trying to stick with it, but we're nothing to cough on, man. I mean,
yeah, but it's like if we have it, we don't want to cough on anyone else too, or we don't want to cough on anyone else anyway, too, ourselves.
Yeah, but we don't want you coughing on us. I think it works either way. Like, Flu Tank Clan ain't nothing to cough with. Flu Tank Clan ain't nothing to cough with.
Flu Tank Clan ain't nothing to cough with.
Cough with.
There's no place to hide as I step aside the room. Dr. Doom, prepare for the boom. Bam! Man! Jam, slam, scream like Tarzan. I haven't heard that song since I was a kid either. No, teenager fan.
Like a neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh, you got the mixer. Oh, snap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen, you don't know that he had that yet? He's been totally embarrassing himself. Hey, John McCrae's getting out of sync again. We'll see if it goes in and out.
Because he ain't got no rhythm.
Anyone who wants to get John, well, we hear your voice, and that's what's most important. But anyone who wants to help John McCrae get better equipment, you can go to his channel and subscribe on, become a patron, and that way he can quit using crap equipment.
Try, man.
Actually, you just need some tricked out internet. Unfortunately,
I know.
I've noticed really awesome internet isn't always available in everyone's area. Like, for the upload, because when people are getting internet packages, they just want awesome download speed because they want to watch Netflix and stuff, and they don't care about the upload. But for people who are going live, upload is what matters. And like, you can have the most tricked out packages, and sometimes it'll just be like 10 megabits per second upload speed, whereas I got the gigabit package, but it's still like 600 or something. It ends up being not an actual gigabit, but it ends up being like 600 megabits, and so it's flying unless there's something going wrong. By the way, side note, we've had power outages here today, so I don't know if it's raining outside or what, but I've noticed the power going out. So if everything just goes dark, we'll get back on in a second. So Jabari says, "Happy birthday, David. God bless you with many more." The name always cracks me up. I've seen it like 20 times, and it still cracks me up. It's Apu Bakr Al Puff Daddy. He says, "What's your view of Friedrich Nietzsche?" I think Nietzsche is one of the few atheists who has actually understood the moral implications of atheism, and he understood it, and he even kind of made fun of the British philosophers because they didn't get it. They didn't. Nietzsche thought of the whole moral framework of the West as influenced by Christianity, and it's kind of slave morality. And he said people can't get that out of their thinking, and he understood the implications of rejecting God and rejecting Christianity. Apart from that, I think he's one of the most overrated philosophers in history. Apart from that issue, I think pretty weird dude.
Yo.
What's up?
You guys ever released that Nietzsche script, right?
What?
In the Boom Boom Room? Yeah, you mean
Sigmund Freud?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Did you guys release that one?
No, I still got it.
No, because David Wood is too busy during the quarantine to actually do any editing, apparently.
It wasn't that. I just didn't like my performance in that. But
it's all about him.
Wait, you're not in that one.
No. The other one.
He wasn't asking about Epstein. He was asking about.
I mean, I didn't like my performance in Epstein, but Epstein is a necessary transition to the Nietzsche one, so we can't. The Sigmund Freud one. So we can't do Sigmund Freud without the Epstein. But in case everyone's wondering, does everyone know why the Boom Boom Room has been? Hey, hang on 1 second. Little sidetrack here. Scott Lane's calling in. Let's see if this. By the way, I don't think I've ever had 4 people. Hey, what the heck? I just got you on. I got you on, and it got rid of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't need them anyway.
Yeah, we got to figure this out real quick.
Did y'all start already?
Huh? Yeah, we started, and when you called and I clicked on accept the call, it's all you got off. All you went away. I mean, the other 2, Vocab and John, went away. Oops. All right. I'm gonna have to hang up on you and call you guys back. So, all right, guys, this is. Keep in mind, I do not know what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna have to hang up on you and then figure this out.
All right, cool.
Good.
Yep.
Let me see if this works. All right, I believe I have to make a group. Is that correct? Do you guys know how to use this stuff? Because I kind of do. All right, I believe I have to do new. Let me see. I'm going to add a person to the Flutang, and that will be Scott Lane. I'm going to add... Sorry about the delay, everyone. This is the first time I tried I think this is the first time I've had 3 people on with me. And right, in theory this will work. So I added to group. Now I'm going to click resume call and see if it works for all of them.
Okay, yeah, now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay, are you all on there?
Yeah.
Hey, Vocab disappeared. All right, but do I have...
We don't have Adam, though.
Yeah, where's Adam?
You just have to Adams to the call. Adam to the call. Adam to the call.
Hey,
Let me
Adam.
see, I can try to do it. I can try to get add. Let me see if I can add. Scott Lane, here we go. Hit add. Hold on, I'm calling him right now.
I put his name in there. Oh, it says
See,
Scott Lane join. It says Scott Lane join.
Because I did it, son. That's
okay,
right.
now let's see if I can have 4 people in here at once. That would be pretty. That would be pretty cool. I actually need to break out my controller here. And
You're on Ecamm, right, David?
now we lost John.
You see the little thing that says
All right, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yo, what's up?
Good?
Yeah, we added him.
We're all on
Adam,
here.
we added him.
We added him?
We added Adam. Yo, Adam, is it I like your hat, son.
Appreciate it, man.
It's not my birthday though.
It's Dave's birthday.
No, it ain't.
No, you know, I found out Adam's son has the same birthday as me, so that's cool.
That's why you got a hat.
Yeah, that's
I was wondering how you got a hat.
Keeping the fun rolling, man. I get my hat game up, son.
Dope.
Hey, I was answering. What?
Vocab's
Oh,
gonna burn himself today.
David, do you think you could blow out your birthday candle?
You get coronavirus all over all over the internet.
There's a funny video going around of a dude. He's sitting in front of a little birthday cake, and he's got a mask on. So he pulls out a hairdryer to blow it out, and then you hear cheers. But he turns the camera around, and all his family is on computer screens. That's how birthday parties are. That's how birthday parties are now.
Are you going to blow this thing out or not? Hey, right on, man.
All right, we are good now.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, it didn't blow out entirely. Must be a true candle. You have to try one more time.
Struggling there, buddy.
Try one more time.
What the heck, man?
Shouldn't we do this? Why don't we do this on air?
We are on air. What are you talking about?
Right.
You're live, man. You're live. This is what Vocab does when we're live, right? We got millions of people watching for YouTube Apologetics, and Vocab has me repeatedly blowing out a candle. All right, here we go, Vocab, to make you happy. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh no, Vocab's. Oh no. Oh my! What? Don't put it out with paper, fool.
I'm just. This is reminding me of the time that Vocab tried to shove this giant Death Star ice cube in a jar and it exploded and cut him. I was just hoping. I just hoping he was going to like catch his hair on fire or something like that right there.
These are relight candles. I kind of forgot about that. Oh, don't worry. I'll take care of it though.
Yo, Cab, do some spit.
No, I know how to do it. But hey, happy birthday, you know?
Yeah. All right, everyone's wishing me happy birthday. All right, we'll post some happy birthdays real quick. Fred Sanford says happy birthday, David. Benjamin Stoll says David looks so young for 59. Thank you. Happy birthday, matey. Oh, so I was telling people before Adam rudely interrupted why the Boom Boom Room was delayed. We did Jeffrey Epstein back in January, so this was like shortly after the Christmas episode where Muhammad meets Santa Claus and converts to Christianity. and then we recorded Jeffrey Epstein, but I had no idea what he sounds like, and then the wig was totally different from what he looks like, and so we recorded that, and all I remember was, this is like the worst performance ever. So, and then it took like forever. There were all these interruptions, and so the clips was like an hour for me and like an hour for Vocab, and so it was like 2 hours worth of footage for me to go and watch the crappiest performance of my life. So it just never got made. But we have multiple other episodes that we've already recorded, just haven't made it. But I gave it to an independent dude. We gave it to our friend Mike the dentist, who's also an editor.
Con man Mike.
I gave the footage to Mike, and I said, look, you be the judge, see if it's okay, see if it's usable. If not, tell me. I'll re-record all my scenes with a clearer accent, and I'll do my hair better and stuff like that. So he's checking that out. Anyway, we'll be on track with the Boom Boom Room again here pretty soon. Louise says happy birthday. Christopher, happy birthday. Ayo, happy birthday. Alex, happy birthday. Happy birthday to me. Hey, there's a prison. You guys want a quick prison story?
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your birthday gifts you got in prison.
No, this was no. This was because we were doing Wu-Tang. We were doing Wu-Tang a few minutes ago. That song, that Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with. So we were doing right now. We were doing Flu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to cough with. But I worked in the stock room at Stanton Correctional Center, and that's a job everyone wanted because you were locked in there with all the food. Everyone else wanted the job because they wanted to sell stuff to other people, right? Like if you want your jar of peanut butter refilled, you could go buy a jar of peanut butter on the canteen for $4, or you could give a dude like $2 who works in the stock room, and he'd fill it up for you. So other people just wanted it to get a bunch of money. I wanted it because you're locked in a big room with all the food, and you can sit back there doing push-ups and eating all day. Anyway, the truck would come in like twice a week loaded up with all the food that we're going to eat through the week. So this is like, I don't know, 700 inmates or something like this. So you have these big trucks coming in. You have to unload all these boxes of food and stuff like that. So anyway, we'd be unloading. And because the whole kitchen, everyone who worked in the kitchen would have to come out and unload, and then I work in the stock room, so I have to organize and stuff. But we'd be unloading, and I would just do like random songs, but I would modify the lyrics so it's about what we're doing while we're unloading this truck. So one day we're unloading this truck, and I'd be rapping some song, but I would randomly pick up a box and look at it and then insert that into the lyrics. And so it wouldn't rhyme or anything like that. I'm just inserting peanut butter, right? So I was rapping that song, and so I started off and I start going, when I stock in the stock room, my stocking is awesome. I'm causing more family feuds than Richard Dawson. And the survey says, and I grabbed the box. So I grabbed the box of whatever it's going to be. Again, peanut butter, corn, could be anything. I said, and the survey says, and I go, peaches. And it was a box of peaches. And I don't know why, but I lost it because it actually rhymed at random. Survey says, and peaches rhymed. And it was a close rhyme. Anyway, I just lost it. I was pretty useless after that because I kept thinking about how hilarious it was that a random box fit in to my messed up Wu-Tang song.
Man, white people problems.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my
Hey, Adam.
iPhone G from a couple minutes ago.
No, not at all, bro.
I can't relate. I can't relate.
Because you guys are little goody two-shoes. You ain't been locked up, right? You guys are little goody two-shoes, little goody two-shoes, little goody two-shoes.
I can't relate to you not being able to rhyme. That's not.
I did rhyme. Survey says peaches.
Yeah, but
you rhymed it with what? What did you rhyme it with?
Hey, look at this. Survey says peaches.
Hey, skin's white like bleaches.
Hey, Templar Bear says, David, you have to watch The Big Show on Netflix. Now that is so weird because one, I did not know that The Big Show was a show until literally 10 minutes before we started this live stream. My son Paley, who he's disabled, so he sits in his he's in bed, and so anyway, I turned on a show for him. And I just randomly clicked on Netflix, and The Big Show popped up. And I go, okay, well, he can watch The Big Show. And I clicked on it. So that's the The only 2 times I've heard of the show, the big show, have all been in the past 40 minutes. One right before we started and right now. So anyway, I might have to check it out now. It might be a sign, ladies and gentlemen, a sign. And Fred Sanford here says, topic for today, how to do YouTube apologetics. Live with Vocab, John, Adam, and David. So guys, it's interesting.
Real quick, you should give a shout out to your super chats though first, bro. You got Madeline G.
Oh yeah.
Theistic Lean,
I'm gonna get to him. I realize I've been running my mouth for 20 minutes, 20 some minutes, and then we haven't even got to the introductions and stuff. So each one of you, independently, go ahead, introduce yourself, say what you do on YouTube, and give people some tip, because I wanted to point this out. I do sometimes I go live here, but sometimes I do I go live with a particular group. Like last night, I went live with a Ratio Christi group and stuff like that. And anyway, when I go live with individual groups, right? So that's not live on YouTube. That's like on Zoom with a private group. But a lot of the questions are, hey David, I just started a YouTube channel. What tips do you have? How do I get subscribers when I don't have any yet? How do I go through this and stuff? And so, guys, there's a big interest out there. So. You guys have been doing it for a while. I guess Adam is the youngest, but although you've been doing YouTube for a long time, but you've been stepping up your game more recently. But John's been going hard for a couple of years. Vocab's been going hard with live streams for the past couple of years. I've been going hard for like 10 years straight. But yeah, go ahead and explain what you guys do here, and then give your thoughts or any tips you might have for YouTube, something you might have learned the hard way. And then we'll talk to the super chats, and we'll basically get to where we're just taking questions from the chat. It's my birthday. We're laid back, right? We're not gonna be sticklers for too much. But all right, who wants to start? Vocab, you're in the top left corner.
I am in the top left corner.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden had an actual question that was relevant.
Oh yeah.
You remember good old Aiden?
Aiden.
I thought we could.
Aiden goes
he's in
hard.
the hot zone right now too. He's up in New York.
Oh yeah, Aiden, how's it looking with coronavirus up there in Harlem?
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Cap.
Well, I was trying to go back and find his actual question. Where did it go?
Aiden, just post it again, bro.
Why is it for? I've got a tip.
Oh, you got it?
Want to hear
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
This whole time I've been trying to play it off like keep a straight face, but I'm trying to be live with you guys, and I've got like one of my videos playing in my computer. I can't figure out what program it's playing on. So I've had myself muted for like the last 5 minutes. I'm trying to keep a straight face. trying to figure out exactly where this thing is coming from. And I was going to play it off, but I figured like maybe I'm sitting here looking constipated. So I was like, well, maybe I should just say something. But I can't figure out where it's coming from.
Probably that usually happens for me on what's that Apple? iTunes. If you have iTunes on there, get rid of.
If you plugged in your headphones, it might have just activated it.
Close out iTunes, and then if that doesn't work, then close your browsers. Close down Google Chrome or Safari, whatever one, because you don't need those on Skype. So just don't close out Skype.
I just closed out iTunes and Chrome, and it's still going. I have no idea where this thing is playing from.
Well, man, you're just gonna have to stick it out.
I'm gonna like mute myself until the video's over.
No, we can't hear it though, so that's okay.
Oh, y'all can't hear it?
Yeah, but he needs to hear us though, John.
I can barely hear y'all.
Okay.
I've been sitting here trying to like laugh at jokes and like keep a straight face while I'm like scrambling behind the scenes trying to.
Yeah, you got your cloth, you sweating and stuff, man. I was worried about you. So I don't know.
All right. So if y'all can't hear it, then I'm good then.
We're good.
All right, let's go, Cap.
Aiden wanted to know what's the most important thing to do, I think, when you start an apologetics YouTube channel. I can't find his comment again, but I'm pretty sure that's what he asked because I had said it earlier. And shout out to Carmel Crunk. You're getting a lot of birthday love, bro. So shout out.
Oh yeah, and it's her birthday too.
Yeah, so that's Adam's son.
Birthday.
That's Adam's son and Carmel Crunk and me. And statistically, I mean, we're at 400. We're at 400, a little over 400 right now. But statistically, yeah, there should be one or two, or possibly more, on here who have the same birthday.
Oh, is that like a common birthday or something like that, or?
No, it's just there are only 365 possibilities.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
good point. I was gonna like follow-up joke was gonna be there's nothing special about your birthday then, but it's kind of killed that.
300, I guess 366 possibilities for kids who are born on leap year.
Leap year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we also got MJ Jackson in the house. Sent another super chat. Everyone's
MJ.
All right, so we're gonna answer Aiden's question.
Yeah. So I'll say something I don't think everyone else is gonna say, but I feel like I want to say two things. But I think one important big thing is to be okay with only pleasing some of the people some of the time. And so, you start putting yourself out there in public on the internet. And I think it's good to recognize the stuff I'm going to do on YouTube is not for everybody. And that's because not everyone's even interested in these topics, although we want to find ways to try to get them interested. But number two, even out of those who are interested in these topics, apologetics, theology, all that kind of stuff, not everyone's going to like your particular emphasis or style and all that kind of stuff. And basically, if you try to play it safe, no one's really going to be interested in watching you because then you're not actually going to be interesting. So be yourself and go at it and be okay with that. And you can change and grow as you go along, but I think that's important. And then number two is, try to build a tribe. And what I mean by that is basically is to try to think of things and encourage things that aren't just about you on what you're doing. Try to think of things that help grow a community. And so I think that there's different things that work for different people. Some people, part of the ways they build community are they actually include the viewers in a lot of their personal life, even though they're just doing apologetics. That's one thing actually to a certain extent David does. You know what I'm saying? He's over there with Manny and this and that. Now, I don't think that works for everybody, and there's different levels of how you can do that. That's an idea, because then it's like you're connecting in various ways. So there's various ways to do this, and we could talk more about that. But to me, those are two things. Like, basically, be okay being yourself because you realize, it's all right, and go hard at doing that. And then kind of related to that is build your tribe, meaning then there will be certain people who are attracted to the certain kind of things you're doing. And then within that, you don't just want to sort of attracted to, you want to also then build community of those other people. So those are two things I would say, which may not be the first things you think about when you think about an apologetics channel. That's why I mentioned those two. Mm-hmm. So there's me.
Well, David asked for one, not two. So thanks for being disrespectful of his time on his birthday.
You guys,
okay, man.
Yo, John, you have anything you want to add to that? Someone getting started on YouTube? Because, by the way, that is one of the most common questions I get. How do you get started? Because, guys, that is a huge problem that I've pointed this out before. If you're starting on YouTube, you can make the greatest YouTube video anyone's ever seen. If you have no subscribers, no one watches it, right? No one watches it. And so that's the problem. And in reality, you're not going to make the best YouTube video anyone's ever seen because you're just getting started. You don't know how to use a camera. You don't know how to use microphone. You don't know how to edit. You don't know what works. And so your video is going to be garbage. Plus, you have no subscribers. And so what do you do? And so guys, what are some tips that might help someone who's getting started on YouTube?
Well, actually, I'd like to chime in on that. It's kind of like the new kid on the block. I've been on the come up a little bit here. One thing I would say is be open to feedback. Definitely be open to feedback. I've been, blessed, to have individuals like David Wood, Vocab, John, to, take me under their wing, give me some tips and stuff like that. I mean, this time last year, I was probably looking at about maybe like 700 subscribers or whatever. Just as yesterday, I was looking at like 4,200 something, you know what I mean? And that partly came due to just listening to small stuff like Vocab hit me up like, hey, man, you need to switch up your thumbnails. Don't have your logo as every single thumbnail, or, hey, you might want to add a little comedy here or do this, there, just kind of little tips and tricks as you go. But just being open to feedback, don't, be offended, when people give you constructive feedback. and having a squad around you that's able to critique yourself. That's a big help. But actually, probably more important than that is, find a lane that you're really passionate about, and don't stray from it. What I mean? Because the thing is, I mean, and any of these guys will attest to it, but sometimes, editing videos sucks. I mean, like you might spend days on end, after you recorded this dope content, and you might spend days editing this, getting this animation right, and all, and it's not necessarily fun. Like, not every aspect of this is going to be fun. And so what you have to have is like a passion for what you do, so that, even in the times where you're pulling all nighter, sometimes I don't go to sleep. Sometimes I stay up all night working on stuff. You know what I mean? That's the reality. Or it might not even be recording. I might stay all night researching something because I want to make sure that when I drop this argument, that is correct, and nobody's going to come back and hit me up in the comments and make me look stupid. So stuff like that really matters. Like, you got to really be on your grind, and it helps when you're really passionate about what it is that you do. And so that would be my two things. So I'm also disrespecting David Wood. He asked for one, but I'm also disrespecting his.
I'd say it's weird. The thing I think is probably most important, what a lot of people probably don't think when they start, is you just got to have good content. And I try to create content that if something that you want to see and that other people want to see too, right? Like, so it's a weird kind of lane to walk, because you can do, like, I like to talk about like theology the most. Like, that's what I like the most, you know what I mean? But I know that for my channel and my channel goals, that's not the thing that I want to do all the time, right? But so you want to try to be smart about like who your specific target audience is and keep it as narrow as possible. Because when I started, I did like everybody else. I was like, oh, my videos are going to be for everybody. And it doesn't work that way with YouTube. The more narrow that your target audience is, the better that your channel is going to do. And so my channel, if I could start over and do it again, I would just have one type of video mainly, you know what I mean? Because I have skits and I have like responding to atheists and stuff, and then I have stuff like I'm talking about the gospel, then I have like personal stories, and that's not optimal for YouTube, you know what I mean? So this is how I started, and so I keep going this way, but that's not optimal for YouTube. So keep your target audience as narrow as possible, and have the specific person in mind who you'd want to create videos for, and then I think you'll do a lot better. That's why I think Wood's channel and AP's channel, Apostate Prophet's channel and stuff did really well too, because their target audience is narrow. You know exactly what you're getting every time you're going to click on a video. So that's one thing I do wrong, but I would encourage other people to do it right. So,
yeah. So, go ahead.
There's a lot of things you do wrong, John. We're just trying to be nice, man.
One more thing is always wear shades during your live streams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Aiden, I'll give you my thoughts. Have to agree with John on figure out what your channel is going to be for. Why did Adam just disappear? Anyway, figure out what your channel is going to be for ahead of time. Figure out your target audience and keep it narrow. What John said about, trying to appeal to everyone, it doesn't work. There's a reason for that, right? Lots of people will. The idea behind making stuff that you think is gonna reach everybody, or having a channel that is going to have stuff for everybody on it, is that you will always lose to the channels that are specific, right? So if you have content for everyone, different people have interests that they focus on, right? There's not many people who are just interested in everything, right? Even on my channel, there are some people who are on there because they're interested in Islam, but like Islamic apologetics, refuting Islam, or they might be interested in like jihad stuff. They don't care about witnessing to Muslims or apologetics, or just, they want to understand jihad and stuff like that. So there's this division. Notice even within that subtopic, because I do deal with other topics, but even within that subtopic, notice if people see my video, 3 stages of jihad, and then they watch that video and they say, wow, that's a good video. And then maybe later they watch one on some terrorist attack and they say, wow, this guy has a good explanation. And then they click on that. And then later they watch a video and I'm responding to a Muslim argument against the deity of Christ. Well, if they're not interested in that, they're going to be like, I don't know. This is popping up in my feed, but I'm not really interested in that. Well, guess what? If I make a couple of videos like that, then maybe, I don't know. I'm unsubscribing to this dude. I thought he was just going to be cool and just be wrecking terrorist attacks and stuff like that. But he's sitting there trying to, he's a Christian, so I'm not really interested. Hey, who's got is that you? Is that you, Adam?
I'm pretty sure that was John.
Yeah. So anyway, the idea is some people are going to watch a particular video you like. They're going to like that video, and they're going to subscribe because of that video. Whereas if you just have stuff that's kind of on all kinds of random stuff, then the next time they see your videos popping up, it's stuff they're not interested in, and then you unsubscribe. Whereas if someone subscribes to you because your channel is all about vegan baking, let's say, right? You love vegan baking and you make a channel on vegan baking. Guess what? The only people who subscribe to you are people who are interested in vegan baking. So if all your videos are about vegan baking, you don't lose any subscribers, right? You're talking about the stuff that group is interested in. So yeah, figure out, what your channel's for. As other people said, let who you are stand out, because at the end of the day, what really lasts on YouTube is, over time, people feel like they get to know you, which you don't always, get from reading a book or from seeing a person lecture. You can watch a William Lane Craig lecture. You don't feel like you know William Lane Craig, but after, years of, watching somebody on YouTube and they're talking directly to the camera or actually interacting on live stream and in the comment section and so on, you start actually knowing people. And so, do those things. Also, go to some channels that are like, I think there's one called Video Influencers and stuff like that, but they're the channels that are actually about, how to make thumbnails, how to get started on YouTube, how to get your first 1,000 subscribers. Matter of fact, just type in something like that, how to get your first 1,000 subscribers or something. Or how to get started on YouTube, and start watching some of those videos, because we had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way. But other people had to learn it the hard way, and then they make channels about, hey, here's some stuff you need to know, and so you don't end up screwing up a lot of time, and so you don't end up wasting a bunch of your time. And so good to learn that stuff now from people who've already been through there. And you might want to spend 3 or 4 months. You might want to spend 3 or 4 months watching videos on all of these topics, because it's, how to record a video, how to edit a video, how to get good sound quality, that sort of thing. Then, how to title videos, how to make good thumbnails, all kinds of stuff to learn for YouTube. Learn all that stuff at the beginning before you go on there, because gosh, I could spend probably 6 months just going back to the videos I made for my first 5 or 6 years and fixing them, because I did them all wrong, right? The descriptions are wrong, the thumbnails are wrong, the titles are wrong. I can just go back fixing those things because I messed them all up and didn't find out till later. All right.
Hey, can I add one more thing on top of that?
Yes, you can.
Or maybe actually I want to kind of throw a question out. So one of the hurdles for me, and I feel like Vocab kind of touched on it, but like one of the hurdles for me that I think is important being a YouTuber is, on the one hand, everybody wants to be liked. I mean, you want people to like your videos, share your videos, and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's this underlying skill to learning how to not be liked. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's a part of the game. You know what I mean? And I learned that from you guys. I mean, the importance of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anybody want to speak on that? Like, kind of how important that is?
You are absolutely correct, and it's something. It's along the same lines of trying to make content that appeals to everybody, right? And so there's the idea of trying to be liked by everyone and not picking a side and so on. And if you watch the guys who've been doing it a long time and are explaining things they've learned along the way, they say things like, be polarizing, right? Be polarizing. And if you want to know, I mean, think about someone like Alex Jones, right? That guy became massively popular, and he's saying things like that mass shooting at that school is all nonsense. And then later he comes back and, well, of course it happened. I was just playing around. He's like extremely saying stuff that's extremely offensive to lots of people. But I'm not just talking about, saying things like, saying things that would offend a bunch of people. I'm just saying, look, here's my position on this. Here's why you people who disagree with me are wrong about this. That is much more likely to get people to actually take you seriously and want to listen to you than trying to like not take a position so that you don't hurt anyone's feelings. So absolutely.
That's right. So you guys, oh my bad. I was going to say, you guys are, anybody that's going to start a YouTube channel, you are going to get tons and tons of hate, especially when you're talking about religion and stuff like that. You're just going to have tons and tons of hate. So you got to have some thick skin. And it does build up over time, though. You get more used to it because you're going to get tons of hate. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is that YouTube is not easy, too. It might look easy to people, but it's not easy. So if you pick something that you're not passionate about, you're going to burn out and you're going to give up before you even get the chance to get bigger, because it's hard work, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it too. So make sure you do something that you're passionate about too, and don't just do something that you think is going to get you like big or something like that, because it just won't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me run through some of these super chats real quick. So Thunder Bear already put up on the screen, said, happy birthday, Dr. Wood, praying for your ministry. Google user said, where's the rap suicidal thief murderer versus God? I'm not familiar with that one. Benjamin Handelman said, David, it was so nice of you to get John here for a birthday present. Yeah. So that was for you. That was for you, Benjamin. We got John on here. And by the way, everyone, links to John's channel, Adam's channel, and Vocab's channel are in the description box if you want to subscribe to these guys. Magdalene G said, God bless. Theistic Leaning Agnostic says, happy birthday, David. Looking at your older vids, it looks like over the past 10 years you've become more lean, and the beard definitely suits you. It actually depends. I fluctuate, and I fluctuate based on back pain, right? If my back starts hurting enough.
69's a tough year, bro. I know. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, no, get there, buddy.
Guys, I know. I used to during the summers when I was in college. In the summers, I worked for moving companies, right? So we go around and I'm hauling. We're carrying pianos and dressers and stuff like that. And everyone always tell me, man, lift with your legs, not with your back. And I would always just lean straight over it, and I'm going, what are you talking about? I have the strongest back in the world. Look at how I lift this piano up. And I was strong. It did not occur. What I was thinking at the time was my muscles can take it. I'm not injuring myself. I didn't realize that you're doing damage to your back that is not going to show up for another 10 or 15 years.
Right.
And that's what I had to learn. That's what I had to learn is, gosh, I haven't even been doing anything for 5 years. Why is my back killing me all of a sudden? So anyway, basically, if my back got to hurting enough, I would hit the gym, do a ton, and hey, while I'm there, I'll just go ahead and work everything and stuff like that. And then I get in pretty good shape. And then my back would feel fine for like the next 6 months. And I was like, cool, I don't have to work out anymore. And then that's when I would gain weight because I'm not working out and stuff like that. So you can actually see me fluctuate over the years. So
I think the more important question is, just kind of wondering where your psychological state is. Are you worried at all that your AARP card will be delayed due to the coronavirus? Like, I mean, I'm sure it's in the mail. It's headed your way. Are you concerned about that? Is that something
that
is?
He got that 5 years ago.
And plus, I can't even go to Denny's for their senior citizen discount now because everything is closed down.
Right.
What are you gonna do if you're
getting screwed, man? He's got old for nothing.
Yeah. Yep, we already shouted out Carmel Crunk, whose birthday is also today. MJ Jackson said, how did I miss this? What do you mean? You're on it right now, obviously, for commenting. Oh, maybe didn't get the notification? Mr. Phil Fox said, happy birthday, David. Thanks for your ministry and faithfulness. And I have to shout out to the coolest cat on YouTube, my main man, Vocab Malone. Vocab Malone is the coolest cat on YouTube, and you got John McCrae. You got John
that
McCrae.
Guy clearly lives in an opposite world.
Right. Bizarro.
Thanks, bro.
Vocab gave him a super chat to make that comment.
This one's actually it's in super chat, but it's for everyone. Yvaniel Andrew said, David, happy birthday. I'm planning to start a channel, but I like Christian history. What do you think? What editing software I need to learn now? Well, I think if you do it well, I think that's an awesome channel idea, right? Christian history. You're making videos about Christian history, and because you can start time of Jesus and stuff like that, and so there's all sorts of information there. But also, people know very little about Christian history, and you see this when everyone will say anything they don't like about Christianity, and they'll say it happened at the Council of Nicaea, when they clearly have no idea what happened at the Council of Nicaea. We know everything that happened at the Council of Nicaea, and know that didn't happen at the Council of Nicaea. You giant moron, right? So, actually going through Christian history would be an awesome idea for a channel. You said, what editing software do you need to learn now? Well, fortunately for most of my videos, I only use iMovie, right? And that is like the easiest program on the planet. If you have a Mac, then iMovie comes with your Mac, whether it's a laptop or whether it's a desktop. iMovie comes with a Mac. and very easy to learn. You can basically go on. You could basically go onto YouTube and type in, how to use iMovie and look at a recent one that's made in 2019 or 2020. Watch that. You're not going to have any problems learning how to use that to edit videos. So I use, because notice most of my videos is just me sitting in front of a bookcase talking, and then there'll be, graphics and stuff that pop up on the screen or quotations, but you can do all that in iMovie. But if you need, now sometimes I need something more sophisticated. In other words, if you need multiple layers and stuff like that, then I use Final Cut, which is more sophisticated. But even now they've made them closer together, right? So several years ago, Final Cut was very, 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 very different from iMovie. Learning one didn't help you learn the other. But since those are the ones both put out by Apple now, they've brought them closer together over the years, so that now it's like a stepping stone. Learn iMovie, and then Final Cut is just you learn the extra features, and they're set up very similar and stuff like that. So those are my thoughts on there. But guys, what do you think about Christian History Channel? And you guys agree on the editing software? Are you guys just Final Cut guys? You use iMovie too? What do you guys use?
I'm Final Cut.
I'm an iMovie guy. So I'm just kind of getting into it, but that's I feel like I do iMovie, and it does pretty well. I'm sure I could find some perks and features with Final Cut stuff, obviously. But iMovie has done me pretty well. But I mean, as far as the concept of Christian history, I think that's a great idea. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea for the reasons that you said. I mean, people don't really know history, Christian history like that, and I think it just that in and of itself can help clarify things. Like, a lot of times we feel like some of the challenges to Christianity that we're getting are like new or something like that, when really the church has refuted a lot of these arguments like 1,000 or more years ago. So kind of going through that history, I think would be pretty dope. I would watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'd say I agree. The Christian history would be dope. It's a dope idea. If you do it, and especially you'll learn too as you keep doing more videos, start finding out what works, what doesn't, and then you keep building on that, and then eventually you get this good niche of what really works for you. But as far as programs and stuff like that, you just use anything that is intuitive to you, because people usually, when they think they have to go buy a ton of gear and expensive programs and stuff before they start, you don't. You know what I mean? In any of my video descriptions, I have a link of my first setup I had. It's only a couple $100s or something like that, and that's everything you need to get going. You know what I mean? And so don't go spend a ton of money. You can even use your cell phone. The cell phone quality is way better than my old camera anyway now. So just don't go spend a bunch of money. Just start by just getting used to your stuff, and then as time comes on, your channel is going to grow, and then you start bringing in a little bit more support from, or at least ad revenue and stuff like that eventually, and then you can upgrade gear too. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as John pointed out a while ago, that rule number one, you got to have good content, and that's kind of the motto among creators. Content is king. Content is king. So whatever else you're doing, make sure the content is good. Everything else can be forgiven, but the main thing that's going to bring people back to your channel is having good quality content. I'll also point out for you guys who want to get started, you guys who are trying to get started here, usually the first year or two is called your pain period. It's called the pain period because you're working your butt off to make videos, and then you post your video, and then 30 people watch it, right? And you spent a week making a video, and then 30 people watch it. Now, if you actually know someone who has a bigger channel, that can help, because the easiest way to actually get over that initial hump of going from not having any subscribers to having some subscribers, the easiest way is if you actually know somebody who can tell other people about you, right? So when Adam posts stuff, we know that he's kind of getting started off with YouTube Apologetics, and so we say we'll tell people, hey, you need to check this guy out. So if you know people, other people who are YouTubers, that can help a lot. But even with that, even with people giving you shout outs and stuff like that and helping you out, the first year or two is hard because it's discouraging, right? You work your butt off making a video, and you just don't get the response that you want. But guess what? Almost everyone starts like that, right? Almost everyone goes through that difficult period. The people who actually make it through it and keep grinding and keep putting the stuff out, those are the people who make it on YouTube. And so, the idea is just be ready for that, right? Be ready to work hard and not see a lot of fruit. You got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. But after a couple of years, then it becomes more of a self-sustaining process, because I'll tell you, it is exciting to sit down, record a video, edit the video, post the video, and you check next day and it's got 59,000 views, after one day, right? That becomes automatic, like instant gratification. So you get into a loop where, oh, this is awesome. Oh, it's cool. Oh my goodness, look at all the people who are watching this in Pakistan or in India. Look how many people on the opposite side of the world are watching this. And that makes you want to go back. So at first it's, gosh, I'm putting so much work into this and getting so little out of it. But later it's, wow, I'm putting all this work into it, but look at the impact it's having. So keep that in mind. All right, anyone else want to comment on that?
Just real quick. I want to point out, everyone notice how David Wood is all about instant gratification.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Yo, you guys don't think too that like you can just reach out to a big YouTuber and then they can tell everybody to sub to your channel and it's going to make you blow up? Doesn't work that way. Subs don't transfer like that too. You have to have good content and a lot of it too. You can't just have one video, because people have to watch your video, then watch another one of your videos, then another one of your videos. Then usually people subscribe after they've watched a few of your videos that they like, then they'll start. But like if I've subscribed to channels that I'd never see from again because they don't have enough content, when I subscribe. So get your library built up as well too. So.
Yeah, and along those lines, notice I get requests all the time. David, can you tell people to subscribe to my channel? If you haven't been doing this for a while and I don't know you, chances are I'm not going to, right? Because notice if you make one video and then I say, hey everyone, go subscribe to that channel, and then your next video is total garbage, and then you just give up. Notice that means that my recommendations mean less and less and less, and it'll get to the point where it doesn't even help me to say it, because no one's going to trust me. So normally for people to sit here, for other people to sort of vouch for you and say, hey, you need to check this guy out. Either they need to know you, right? And they need to know, okay, I know this guy is going to be making better and better content. So I trust him, and I can send people his way. Or people just have to see, okay, this guy's been making videos for the past 2 years, and he's making good videos, and I've watched. So this is like with Islam Critique, right? I was looking. Islam Critique made videos for an entire year, and he was making really, really good content. He was just stuck without, he didn't have a lot of subscribers, and it's just hard getting started without a lot of subscribers. But you could see that he's consistent. He's consistently making good content, and then so we started pointing people towards his channel and stuff like that. Now he's got I think he's got over 18,000 or something like that. Yep, that's how it works.
Hey, I want to throw something in there too. Just as somebody who's kind of on the other side of the fence, like a guy who I feel like I've said it like 5 times, but I'm trying to get my thing up and going here. And one approach that I've taken is if I do reach out to somebody, or if I connect with somebody, I try not to make it just about like subs or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to connect with them, because at the end of the day, we're Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be exploiting people, for subs and notoriety or whatever. That's what
Vocab does.
Yeah, that's Vocab all day.
I was forced into YouTube. That's the opposite of the truth. I was pulled, kicking and screaming. I was totally dragged here by David Wood, like a caveman with a woman wearing. That's what happened with me. Even though I don't really.
This analogy is going a real dark place, man. So I'm gonna.
Well, okay, I'll let you have it. Go ahead and talk about how you're trying to get your thing up.
So at the end of the day, it's just like be authentic. You know what I'm saying? Be authentic. You know what I mean? You don't want to be just like, yo, man, can I get like 500 subs? Or whatever. Like me and John, I guess maybe our situation's a little bit different. We connected kind of more organically because we were just out here doing apologetics. Yeah. We were in some of the same forums. I'm saying that he reached out to me or I reached out to him, however it went. And we just kind of progressed from there. That was before he had his channel. And same thing with Vocab. I was doing my True ID podcast, reached out to him, interviewed him. And so that kind of developed organically. And these guys, what's that?
That was years ago. That was before I even thought about starting a channel. Way before. We already had similar interests, and we were talking all the time. So yeah, we were doing debates and stuff together. So yeah, that was years ago. Yeah.
That was a while ago, man. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And so that developed organically. And then you two guys, lo and behold, somehow, meet up with David Wood, and then y'all referred me to him. So like all that kind of happened organically. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was like, like sub chasing, so to speak, or whatever.
Nah, you were plotting. You were plotting. You saw it. You said, "Hey, let me become buddies with John because he knows David Wood, and then I'll steal all David's subs, and then I'm good to go."
I'm gonna start the real Apologetics empire. That's
Hey, hang on. Check this out. Check this out. Comment from Zanelli here. David Wood, I was believing Muslim. I have seen all your videos. I wish I had never seen your videos. Because of you, when I read the Quran, there is something inside me that says the Quran does not come from Allah.
Wow.
Well,
For real?
yeah. Well, yeah. Zanelli, that thing inside you that is telling you that the Quran does not come from God, that's your brain. And what happened is, I understand. So just to be clear, I'm not saying that Muslims don't use their brains. I'm saying, if all you hear all your life is the Quran is this masterpiece and Muhammad's the greatest man who ever lived and the Quran's filled with all these scientific insights and blah, 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 then it makes sense to your brain to think, oh, this must be from God. But when your brain is then filled with facts that completely contradict everything you've been told, then your brain starts telling you, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. This isn't from God. There's a problem here. Houston, we have a problem. So yeah, it can also, I mean, I'm sure people are going to jump in and say, no, it could be, something spiritual or something like that. But simplest explanation here is once you learn enough about the Muslim sources, and once you learn that the arguments that are used to prop up Islam are a bunch of nonsense, then yeah, something inside you starts saying, come on, this is not true. And so, Zanelli, I encourage you, keep studying, keep watching videos, learn more and more and more and more and more. Definitely need to reject Islam and pay attention to some of the videos on Jesus and his resurrection. All right, guys. Couple more super chats here. Christine S says, "Happy birthday, David, and hello to my favorite YouTube crew." I guess that means you guys. Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you for all the good work that you do and generously share with us. Yvonne Andrew again. Also says, David and friends, maybe you can open a mentor/class to teach about open YouTube topic, Christianity. I'm in Indonesia. It's quite sensitive. I understand things can be rough in Indonesia, but yeah, we're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff here on YouTube. Me and John are actually planning on making doing some creator stuff, basically doing something more formal on running people through the topic of how to get started on YouTube.
Running people. What the other thing?
I was going to be taking
I was waiting to beat the drop, man. I was somewhere with that, man.
Yeah, so
taking a spear to his listeners.
Yeah, so I'd like to, just run through all the basics. Here's as far as cameras. Okay, here's how to use your cell phone if you need to make videos. Here's how to use a camcorder. Here's how to use, this. Here's how a mic works and stuff like that. Run everyone through that for people who want to get started. You guys see any? I've still got more super chats here, but I don't want to keep talking when all you guys are here. If you guys see comments you want to address along the way, feel free to jump in anytime. Yeah.
I saw a question from. I thought it was kind of interesting. Let me bring it up. I cut and pasted it right quick. I think it's from Black Tuesday Films. It says, "What's a more effective way of studying apologetics/philosophy for YouTube videos?" I thought it was kind of interesting.
That's like saying, how do you mix oil with water? I'm just kidding.
Right, yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. I want to see you kind of throw it out to you guys, see what y'all thought about that. Yeah.
So it's about studying apologetics and philosophy for YouTube?
Yeah, it seems like he wants to more effective way of studying apologetics, most effective way of studying apologetics/philosophy for. He says YT videos, but I'm assuming he means YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube videos.
Yeah, he's probably saying, how do you integrate philosophy into YouTube content? That's what I understand him to be saying.
Right.
That's a problem with that.
Or I understand him to be saying, like, if you're studying Like the way I would take that is, you know, hey, if I'm reading a William Lane Craig book, but I want to do YouTube, how should I be reading this book? And if that's what you mean, or if you're reading a philosophy book and you're thinking, hey, what can I make a video out of this about? You should be looking for a couple things. One is, what would this make an interesting video? Is this something that people would be interested in? And two, another question is, how many people have addressed this, right? So if you're making a video and you know other people have not addressed that, or you've never seen it, or you search on YouTube and you can't find it, then that might be good. So I'll just give you an example. I think Bobby Conway's best video, or at least one of his top videos on his channel, was titled "What is the Categorical Imperative?" Now that's a perfect example of. Now, why would that be his top video or one of his top videos? And the reason is, even though there's not a super high demand for something like the categorical imperative, there's a low supply. There aren't a lot of videos on the categorical imperative. So whenever anyone goes to introduction to philosophy class and they get to Kant, they read about a categorical imperative, and now people study on YouTube, so they look up what is the categorical imperative, and if you have the video on that, then you people find you. And so kind of look for stuff like that. Hey, here's something that would be interesting. Here's something that people might be searching for, but other people aren't posting videos on this. So maybe I need to, maybe I should be the one doing this. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, so that's good. And if you meant it in the way that I understood it, then I'd say that, like, you have to try to see what's transferable. Like, I spent a lot of years studying apologetics and philosophy and stuff like that, and I take that same thinking into my videos and stuff like that too, but I want to make sure it's content that's going to be very, my goal was always never to be an academic channel. I always wanted it to be accessible to anybody, but try to give them that same truth in ways that are just practical, right, without trying to compromise the integrity of that. So just try to think of all these concepts and stuff, and a lot of times you'll lose a little bit of the rigor when you use other kinds of words, but try to see if you can think of ways to use simple words to describe the stuff that you're trying to get in philosophy, and mix it with something that's going on or something that people can relate to. You know what I mean? Whether it's in current events or whether it's in just practical stuff, something that people can relate to. So that way you kind of bridge that world of making it more YouTube accessible, unless your channel is going to be more academic focused. You know, if that's the case, then you can keep it. But yeah, so that's what I'd say.
Yeah, actually, to kind of piggyback on that too, like, I think that there are some branches of philosophy, if you will, or areas of philosophy that are easier to marry to the YouTube world than others. Like, so for example, if you want to talk about, like, you know, I don't know, abstract objects or something like that, or, you know, just are numbers real or aren't they, or whatever,
Got some
those
hot
kind of
topics
things.
there, Adam. Got some hot topics there, bro.
That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's not really a lot of ways you can go with that to bring it down to the everyday person. You see what I'm saying? Whereas something like morality, morality is going to permeate just about everything that people encounter. Like, it's in the headlines, it's in people's personal lives, in your everyday life. So, things like the moral argument or just anything in the realm of morality is going to be a lot easier to bring into that everyday, sphere, so to speak. And so, kind of to John's point, so you kind of want to think about what areas of philosophy are you interested in, and now, how would you go about, bringing that down to the average man, so to speak? Some branches are easier to do that than others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
William Lane Craig seems to think that abstract objects are interesting. I mean, that's like his project, right? That's his thing.
I love Platonism, or studying that stuff, Platonism, and thinking
you
about
love Platonism? Wait, what's going on here?
No,
man?
I like thinking about it. I love the abstract objects and stuff like that. I do love that weird niche, but I'll never use it in a practical conversation, probably, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But it does parallel with a lot of stuff in philosophy. But I love that topic.
Okay.
Speaking of YouTube videos, John posted a video today. John posted a video today. It's nice and short. Let's go ahead and check it out real quick. I went ahead and I have it right here. Let's go ahead and check out John's short video today. And so, John, you can talk about what you're doing here, because this is different from some of your other videos where you're talking about a cultural issue or explaining an apologetics topic or something like this. Here, you're doing something totally different. So let's go ahead and check out John's video from today.
Why are you sitting in the dark like a vampire?
Do you know that the principle of sufficient reason by Alex Cruz is the same thing as ex nihilo nihil fit?
No. Why would I know that?
I'm sorry, I thought you also learned to love the Lord with all of your mind.
Alright, yo, why you bugging? You alright?
I'm not bugging. I'm preparing to save the world.
Yeah. Alright, well, yeah, I was just letting you know that we ain't got no toilet paper. Bunch of spooky acting brothers buying up all the toilet paper and panic and all that. We've been out since yesterday.
Yes, I already know. I'll be fine, Daryl. And I'll be fine for at least the next month.
Word? You got a secret stash in here?
No, I've been using Richard Carrier's book on the historicity of Jesus. 712 pages should suffice for now. Don't worry, I saved Joel Osteen your best life now if you need some too.
Okay, see, now that's just nasty. It sounds painful. Alright, well, yo, I just came to check on you. I don't think I've seen you come out of your room since the quarantine started. Yo, are you depressed or something?
Depressed? Are you joking me? Now I can do what I've dreamed of doing ever since I discovered apologetics. I can read all day without ever having to talk to anyone. Ever. Except on the internet.
Yeah, but you haven't even came out for food. How are you still alive right now?
If I keep reading all of these books, not only will I be able to speak whatever language presuppositional apologetics speak, I'll be able to speak in nothing but Dr. William Lane Craig quotes.
Yeah, but you haven't even came out for food. How are you still alive right now?
Who has time to eat when they're preparing to save the world?
But we're in the middle of a global pandemic. So how's you being all cooped up in your room all day going to help save the world?
Simple. If people only knew about the ontological argument, they would convert in masses. Our neighbors have just been practically begging and waiting for someone to tell them about the constants and quantities concerning the initial conditions of the universe, the anthropic principle, the negative ontology of Platonic and abstract objects, the correspondence theory of truth, the irreducible complexity of cell.
What the fish are you talking about? Fool, stop talking crazy. Talk English to me. What's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me, Daryl.
Okay, you know what? You need help. I'm going to call a doctor.
The only doctor I need is Dr. Craig.
Dr. Craig as in Dr. William Lane Craig? Nah, fam, you need Dr. Phil.
Only if Phil is short for philosophy.
What? Man, don't nobody care about that stuff.
And in my discipline, philosophy, I think, frankly, there's a renaissance of theistic belief. And there is a virtual revolution going on in Anglo-American philosophy right now, where Christian philosophers represent a significant and respected voice in the philosophical community.
Wait, what was that?
What was what?
That voice you just did. It came out of nowhere.
I don't think even Russell would have affirmed that something could come into being without a cause, even if for some eternally existing universe, you might say, well, it just exists with no explanation.
Okay, all right, I'm bugging. All right, this can't be right. I'm high. I don't even smoke weed, but I know I'm high because that don't make no sense. There's no explanation for it.
So that objection to the argument is simply based on a misunderstanding of the first premise.
What do you mean?
All right, so that was a good John McCrae video. I agree with John Beavers. John Beavers here said, I like how he gets the us. Meaning that even when Craig went, John turned his, So, John, run us through your process here really quick. Where'd you come up with the idea for that video?
Man, honestly, I just had, I don't know. I mean, I was just thinking how funny it would be like for apologists during quarantine. I was thinking like what apologists are all doing right now, like during the quarantine. And I was thinking they're probably all doing like what we all want to do is just like sit there and just read a whole bunch of books and stuff like that too. So that's where I kind of started. And a lot of my skits, man, I don't know what it is. All my skits that I write, they just, I don't spend a lot of time thinking. I figure it out as I'm writing. That's not usually how I do videos, but with my skits, every one of them I just like start writing and then it just comes, you know. So I actually got 4 videos in this series so far with the quarantine stuff. So this was the first one that I released today. So.
Although you were you did have that lion part where you said you don't smoke weed because there's no other reason to live in Colorado. So I know why you're living in that horrible state.
Here's a fun "what do you mean" fact. I've never smoked weed once in my entire life.
I don't believe that, bro.
What? And come on, you live in Colorado. There is only one reason anyone lives in Colorado now. Come on.
He's wearing green right now.
Yeah. Other than the fact that Colorado is the best state in the entire nation. By far.
Plus his eyes always look like he's half asleep and he's always hungry.
Yeah, I got big eyes. That's big eye problems. They get dry easy.
All right, guys. Let's go on with some questions. And what do you guys see that you want to answer? I also have some... let me see. Mr. Phil Fox in the Super Chat says, did any of you pull some old stuff and reissue it as updated content? Vocab is the coolest cat on YouTube. I'm Mr. Phil Fox, and I approve this message. Yeah, I guess he's talking about Vocab, that Vocab will take stuff from like 2 years ago and re-upload it.
He's doing premieres of stuff that he dropped like 5 years ago.
Well, that's exactly what I'm about to do. I'm putting out Islamicize Me at the end of this month.
Vocab's been recycling videos for like 2 years now, right?
One thing though is I don't recycle stuff that's been on my own channel. With the rare exception is if I take a highlight or snippet from something. But I never have, that to my knowledge, directly re-uploaded a video I already did and then just basically put it up again. Haven't done that. However, my homie stuff that they've done, putting some stuff on the channel, yes, or stuff I've been involved with on other channels, yes, I've done that as well. And so I definitely have done that. And honestly, when you have more subs and more people interested, if you repackage it the right way, it actually can work. So I know you guys don't necessarily do that kind of thing, but it does work. And I'm very interested to see what it's like when we re-drop Islamicize Me. So we're starting the Thursday of Ramadan is when it's going to start. And then I'm going to do 2 a week every day.
Hey, you should be pushing this because... I mean, Muslims can still do Ramadan in that they can still fast during the day and stuff, so they can still do that. But it's not going to be the sort of wide, broader event that it would normally be without the coronavirus. So you can actually push it along those lines and say, hey, Muslims, since you're going to be stuck at home for Ramadan, not be out, meeting with everybody, why not watch a little show? I've got one.
His next premiere is going to be like, who's going to win the election, Hillary or Donald Trump? It's like, who should Christians stand with, Hillary or Trump? That's going to be his next premiere.
Well, that kind of stuff.
Hillary or Trump.
that kind of stuff. Actually, that kind of stuff. What I do with that kind of stuff is I'll edit it, take out the stuff that's too time sensitive, and I do that kind of stuff as my private exclusive uploads for my supporters. So once a month, I do exclusive uploads just for supporters that they have an unlisted link to. And when it's like dated stuff, so this November I do have a thing where we talked about Mitt Romney becoming president because Mormon.
Look, and then he dubbed it and changed it to Biden or something.
Yeah, but the thing is, the discussion we had on it is timeless because we discussed like when Joseph Smith tried to become president. A lot of people don't know that. Joseph Smith tried to run for president. So we discussed all that, and then we discussed like related issues about Christians voting for people of different backgrounds and stuff like that. So there's a lot of important stuff. But you know, it'll be just for supporters, and I edit out some of the stuff that's like obviously dated about it. So
basically, if we take a closer look, we'll realize that the Vocab hasn't dropped an actual new video in like 2 years.
Yeah, it must be nice. Don't have to write. Don't have to just jack.
between that and live streaming, yeah, that's true.
Well, to be fair though, Vocab wrote a lot of the Islamicize Me series too. Like Wood had all the ideas and stuff, and Vocab would write like ton of scripts. Wow, we were all working on different stuff too, you know. So
well, that's a lot of it. A lot of the stuff came down to that. It's okay. We're in this skit. Other person who's not in this skit, go write a script. And,
yeah, that was
That's
wild.
true. So I am better at doing that kind of stuff, those produced videos and stuff. Basically, if I'm more in a team situation, because then I enjoy it. But me sitting down by myself, writing a script, doing a video like with the dope one that you did, John, which is epic, that you did today, recording by myself, and then editing afterwards, I feel so lonely. And I feel like it's just solitude-inducing and so solitary that it's hard for me to do that. That's why I go live and so much stuff, because I like to talk to the people and enjoy stuff. My research beforehand is the studying on the topic I'm going to talk about, you know? Yeah. And I don't know, that's kind of why.
I think it's because you're an extrovert, bro. Because I live in my head. Because I'm an introvert. That's where I'm most comfortable, is right here by myself. You know what I mean? But you're an extrovert. So you and Wood, you guys are extroverts too, I noticed. So like you guys get more juice when you're around, when we're all together and all that. You guys get more creative. And for me, I'm more creative. I just sit in my room by myself and just start writing. You know what I mean? So it was weird. But
so you actually are like the guy that you were portraying in your video. That's
yeah.
No, that was the nerdy one, though. The nerdy one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's actually
if you notice, the other guy is Daryl, so clearly the other guy is actually John.
Yeah, that's right.
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. When in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call.
Cab. Remember when we were out in when I came out there before we even recorded Islamicize Me and you were working on skits and stuff, and we were just cranking out stuff. Remember too? That's usually how it goes, huh? Yeah, it was.
Dope. So like, I love John's a perfect like collab partner like that, because like you have good ideas, but then you're kind of like down to just do whatever, and then you like know the basics to me, you know, of like the basic camera setup, the basic light, and then you can edit well. And so it's like perfect because it's like a little team thing. So I had a lot of fun. We knocked out a bunch during that time. So
you always pick up off me well though too. Because you always like whatever I say, okay, like do this or something like that, you got it like right away always too. And then you do better than I thought, you know, so that's why it was good. We worked good together like that.
See, that's the thing though too, is I like working with a person. I would do a lot more produced type videos if I had a partner. It's so I just until I kind of have I probably would do mainly live streaming, editing some stuff. But like if I had a partner, it'd be a different situation. Where, you know what I'm saying?
What do y'all think? I mean, like, how long did it take y'all to kind of, I guess, understand your own creative process? I feel like that's a thing. Like we were talking about people, you know, getting into YouTube earlier. Did that take like a while to kind of find that zone? Or
well, I always did music and stuff, like growing up and all that. So it's kind of the same thing to me. You know what I mean? Like I just feel creative or something and just start writing, and then that's how it usually goes, you know. Or just I'm always like, this is the bad part of me, is that I'm always waiting for an idea to spark. And once I get one just idea, I can go off that. You know what I mean? But like the bad part about it is it's hard for me to just schedule stuff steady because I'm always waiting on inspiration. Awful place to, you know, happen. But
John, dude, you got to get out of Colorado and move near me, because I'm like a fire hose of awesome ideas.
I know.
I'm around. They just keep pouring out of me, and I only end up doing like 1% of the ideas that ever pop into my head, and they're all awesome.
Thank God for that, actually. That David only does 1% of the ideas that actually pop in his head. It is true you're like a fire hose, David, except just take out the fire part.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What the heck?
wow.
Hang on. We got
hey, real quick though, David, you remember how John said he did music and stuff growing up?
Hmm?
Don't you think sometime we should play some of his old music he used to do on your channel?
Yeah, that would be awesome. People would be.
It's the party. Everybody's party. Hey, Becky.
And everything is massively auto-tuned, and everyone will be like, "Gosh, John, why are you doing apologetics and ruining your ultimate gift to the world, music?"
Man, Vocab already got the shades on. He's ready for the party. You look like you're.
And we go.
Hey,
I do miss music. I do miss music. That is the truth. But I think obviously apologetics is something far more important and something that I'd rather dedicate my life to.
You can merge the two, man. Nobody has successfully merged music and apologetics yet.
Oh, there's a reason for that. Would you want to sing a song about the Kalam?
I feel like it can be done, huh?
Oh, actually, it has been done. But we listened to that. Remember Wood and Vocab when we were in some state, San Diego or something? Yeah.
How's the
That's
king?
right.
Oh,
they have a whole
okay,
CD on apologetics, like intelligent design. Isn't the CD on intelligent design or something?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah, it was
Origins. That's the shirt I'm wearing right now. That's
See?
one more reason why I'm a Calvinist, because stuff like that happens.
But How's the King? I don't think they're Calvinists though. So
No, they're not. But
Oh.
they respect the Old Testament, so they're not too far afield.
hey, we got a special request here. John Buckley said, David, I need some magic backpack, please.
Oh, the magic backpack's right over there.
No, yeah. Oh, hey, show him the backpack.
is that actually in the backpack?
Yeah, that is the backpack. That is the backpack. But I got the song. Hey, Vocab, I'm gonna play the song real quick for
Okay,
John
hold on,
Buckley.
I got it. Well, thank you, my friend. All right, here we go. This is it. This is
There.
the real magic backpack, and the way you always will know it's the real one is this blue seal of approval right here.
Yeah, 'cause
we
I-
blotted out the
Because
logo.
nobody can do that.
Yeah,
Right.
But it's not. It's not just the fact of the style. It's this.
yeah.
He's gonna sell like 5 of those for $100 a piece.
I know.
Magic backpack.
All right, here we go, everyone. Here we go. Here's the magic backpack song.
Backpack, magic backpack. I'm the nigga the Mac attack backpack. With this sack, reacts I'm like a maniac. I got stacks of facts to keep you all on track.
All right.
Nice.
There we go. All right, that's your magic backpack for the day.
Oh man.
Actually, it's a good question from. Let me see. Let me scroll down to it. John Beavers asks, how often should you upload videos? I added an hour-long video and am scheduling smaller segments of that long one. How often should those be uploaded? What do you guys think?
Backpack, magic backpack.
Oh, whoa. That's in my ear. Oh, I was like,
The ghost of magic backpack right there. Is this,
Yeah,
like
that
poltergeist?
scared me.
Man.
I think that there's 2 things you want to keep in mind when you're posting your videos. One is that you don't want to just post to post. You want to make sure that you try to at least make sure all your videos at least you think are good. You know what I mean? Or at least you're happy with in somewhere. You don't want to just post a whole bunch of crap, because every time you post stuff that people don't watch, YouTube it adds information to the algorithm which says this person's not watching these videos, he's skipping over videos, so then I'll stop showing the video to that person, right? So that's one thing. So, but the more the better if it's good. But I think the most important thing, which is the thing I don't do, because I do everything wrong all the time, is schedule the same time for your video to come out every time it does. So like Mike Winger has his Tuesday night live stream at the same time, so everybody knows every Tuesday at this time I need to log in, so that way I can watch this live stream, So if you can get on a schedule, all the better too, if you can keep up with the schedule. But I always just post randomly because I'm disorganized. I'm trying to get better though, so pray for me.
Any other thoughts on that, guys? Well, no.
Well, I guess maybe to balance that out, I think John's absolutely right, but I think I was on the wrong end of that same concern, in that I found myself pulling punches too much, to where I'd have content and I wasn't putting it out, and I still need to get my volume up even now, but I think you don't want to get like so cautious that you don't end up putting out anything. I'm like my own worst critic, so I'll criticize my own scripts and stuff like that 20 times before I actually drop them. Sometimes you got to just kind of push past that, and just get it out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, you got to also basically do what works for you and your family. So like, There's nights I don't go live because of certain things with the kids, and that's just how it is. Even though there's a lot of good opportunities I could do, and there's some stuff I missed out on, it just doesn't matter. And same thing with Adam. I know a lot of times he has to end up doing stuff late because of the family, and to a certain extent, that's just is what it is. You know, you got to prioritize. So it's not based upon the YouTube algorithm; it's based upon your real life, and it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say it kind of a lot of it's going to depend on where you're at. You know what I mean? In your channel's history. You know what I mean? If you're just getting started out, you don't want to be cranking out videos every day. You don't have enough followers, and you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out cranking out videos every day, and people aren't going to be watching those. Once you have a bunch of followers, like I would like to post videos every day. I do that sometimes, but I'm never able to keep it up for very long, just because there are other things going on in life. But if you're getting started out, I would say, but even if you're not, however you're posting, try and make it consistent, right? So I would say 1 or 2 videos per week. If you're just getting started out, I would stick with 1 a week. I would stick with 1 a week for a year or so, right? Then try to go to 2 a week, and you're pretty fine. You're pretty fine sticking with something like that. And then if you're getting to the point where you like just full-time YouTube, that's all you're doing, then you might want to try and 3 or 4 or 5 a week or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be hard to grow your channel if you're not being coming out with something new each week.
I'm gonna add something on to what Vocab said too. Like you mentioned, like family. For anybody who's starting out or like really serious about getting into YouTube or whatever, and let's say you're married, then you definitely want to communicate with your spouse in terms of like what that's really going to look like. How much time are you going to really allocate towards filming, editing, when you plan on editing. So for me, like Vocab mentioned, it's kind of what made me think about it. Like most of the time, if I'm recording stuff, it's at night after the kids go to bed. You know what I'm saying? So 8:30, 9 o'clock, kids are in bed and tucked away. That's when I get it in and do my thing. So I might be up all night, recording and editing or whatever. And so my wife understands that there's going to be a couple times a week that, that's what I'm going to be doing. Or like right now, I'm live with you guys. So I had to make sure that, I can't spend, my son's whole birthday reading apologetics books, like, John's character, and then hop on live, with you guys, on my son's birthday. I got to make sure I'm present, and being a dad, and being a husband. Those kind of things really matter, and they prevent strain in your household that will then ultimately prevent you from doing what it is that you're passionate about doing. So having the home front squared away and making sure it's like the scripture says. How can two walk together unless they be agreed? I'm saying your spouse needs to be in agreement with what you're saying. And the more I learn about what I'm doing, the more I learn about what that's going to look like day to day. I always try to communicate that to my wife so she's not caught off guard by, he's doing this or he's doing that. So I always try to make sure I'm communicating.
We have a Muslim Truth and Courage here. It says David Wood insults all the prophets of Allah. He is not a follower of Jesus Christ. He is with follower of Messiah Dajjal. So the Antichrist. No, Truth and Courage. I don't know if you haven't paid attention, but I make fun of one false prophet, and that's your false prophet Muhammad. And what's interesting is the insult you just tossed my way is exactly what's true of your prophet. Your prophet insults everyone by simply rewriting what the prophet said to line up with him. Right now, I could do that, right? I could say, actually, I'm a prophet, and all previous prophets agreed with me. Muhammad talked about me. He said, guys, I'm Muhammad, and I suck, and it's a good thing that there's a greater prophet coming. His name's David Wood. And I could say that, and if people were stupid enough to believe in me, then, I could convince people of that. But notice, if I were to do that and I were to say, hey, yeah, Muhammad just talked about me and that's what he did, I'd be insulting Muhammad in a different way from where I normally insult Muhammad. I normally insult Muhammad just by, stating facts about him, and the things he did are so bad that they come across as insults, even if you just read them off a page. But yeah, if I were to just rewrite what Muhammad said and did to line up with what I think, then I'd be insulting him in a different way. I'd just be lying about him. But guess what? That's exactly what your prophet did. Your prophet went to Abraham and Moses and John the Baptist and Jesus, and he just wrote his own theology onto their mouths. And my goodness, can you imagine the judgment that awaits your fake prophet for leading so many people astray by doing that? It's just, gosh, I don't think I can insult this guy enough, because he's let's face it, he's pretty fake, right? All right, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, it kind of made me think of the Joker joint y'all did, where Joker was in the boom boom room, and there's that line. I don't know if you wrote it or Vocab wrote it, but it's like the Joker gets hype about Allah being the master deceiver or something like that. And it's just like, it made me think about, again, circling back to Muhammad being a false prophet. I don't know, it's wild. I don't know if it's possible for there to be a mound of literature demonstrating that somebody's a false prophet more so than you have with Muhammad. It's almost like he went out of his way to show you, I'm not the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was doing everything he possibly could to paint himself as being, not of God. And people still rock with him, you know what I mean? But that's all I got to say about it. But, yeah.
That was David's masterpiece. I only added a few parts.
That was good.
Yeah. David killed it on the script and the acting, but that was pretty much his baby, like 98% or something like that.
Well, what was cool is I just I wrote down a bunch of Joker quotations. So I go to the different movie scripts and stuff, and the classic comic book line and the classic Joker passages. I would put those lines down, and then just sort of built the script around that. Right? I said, okay, here are all these quotes. How can they actually work into the script? Here's a question. Hayden Tang says, what equipment would you recommend for YouTube?
Cell phone to start. After that, I'll tell you what I have. I have a Sony, what do I even have? A Sony AR2 now. I have that. I started with Handycam. What is it? I don't even remember. I don't remember if it was Sony. I can't remember. I think it's Sony little handheld camcorder. Then I went to that Sony A7S, and now I have the A7R2. I just like the Sony, but that's just me. But I don't think you need all that, right? Like, people do very well just holding their cell phones and stuff like that too. It depends on the style of video you want to do too, so.
Yeah, 100%. John and David know more about that than me, but it also depends, like, are you, thinking more about live streaming or recording stuff and then doing it? Because, you'll need a good camera that you can take out and about. But if you're doing live streaming, you might be able to start by just getting yourself a decent, even if, depending on what you got at the time, $30, $40, $50 webcam that's a little bit better than the camera in your laptop, for example. Same thing with the first mic you get. It might just be one of the USB mics that's not as powerful as like an XLR, phantom powered type of microphone, but start out with, you just improve your audio a little bit. But really it's about content, and you really can start doing so much with your phone that most people have a version of a phone that's usable for it. And then just go from there. Like, you just constantly make those little improvements. I don't think people need to buy everything and then start. That doesn't make sense to me. It's like you start with what you have little by little, and you can grow into those other things. But David has probably all kinds of advice. I know Adam's got a pretty good camera now and editing setup. So, and he's even got a brick wall in the background.
Yeah, I know. You got that brick from outside too.
I just set it up in every room that I go to.
It's all crooked too.
Yeah, actually it is right now. I just kind of threw it up. But actually, I would defer to you guys as far as the technology stuff. But I am looking to get myself a nice little webcam because I want to start doing more lives. But then again, actually, I think the cameras I have, I probably could use as a webcam. So I think, too, maybe touring around with what you already have. You might already have some stuff that maybe you can kind of maximize and get more out of it than you might think. Just kind of starting there, I think, is always good. Look at what you have in your house.
And they say audio is the most important too. You know what I mean? More important than video. I'm deaf basically, so I don't really hear the audio sound difference as much. So don't take my advice on this, but a lot of people have this Yeti. It's called a Blue, or it's called a Yeti, but it's made by the brand Blue, and that's what a lot of people use for like live stuff and all that too. And I have a Rode mic for my video mic, just a shotgun mic.
Yeah, John just gave you all a pro tip there. If you ever have to choose between higher quality video and audio, which one do you pick? Lots of people instinctively would say video, right? But think about this: if you are trying to watch someone speaking and they have wonderful 4K video, but you can't understand what they're saying because the audio is crap, how long are you going to watch that? Probably not long. On the other hand, if you're watching someone and the video is low quality, but the audio is perfect and you can understand everything that's being said, well, as long as you're interested in what's being said, then that's fine. In fact, I mean, if you look at, channels like Inspiring Philosophy, he's usually not even on the camera. He's just got graphics up. And so, audio is key. So as far as equipment, I go with cell phone first. No need to break the bank getting a ton of equipment. And gosh, I mean, cell phones. I mean, for years I was making videos with this, right? This camera's been all over the place. This camera's been repeatedly attacked in public places. This camera's been in a police locker in the city of Dearborn. But this is what me and Nabil started recording on. But if you have anything beyond probably an iPhone 1, it probably records better than this thing does. And if you go back in my videos to the first few years that I was making videos, they're recording on this. They're pretty low quality, but the content was dope, ladies and gentlemen. The content was good. And so you go back to those videos, and some of those will have 3, 4, 5, 600,000, sometimes millions of views. So anyway, the point of all that is if I was recording on this and it was fairly low quality stuff and my audio was bad, because for my first videos, I wasn't even using, probably my first 2 years of videos, I wasn't even using a mic, like no kind of mic. It was just this camera was 8 feet away from me and there's a little mic on top of it. So it's picking up noise. And so you can look at the audio's garbage, the video's garbage, content was good, and those videos did well. So again, content is king. Content is king, consistency is queen, and so the equipment is secondary. But so yes, start with and notice if you use your even if you use your cell phone, like an iPhone or something like that, if it's something that came out within the last few years, it gets at least something like 1080 resolution. And so if you got that in front of you, but you can also get little lapel mics for like $20 or $30 that plug into the side of your phone, and you just clip them on your chest, or you can even get the ones that are just wireless, right? In other words, what is that, Bluetooth or something like that? Whatever it is where you're talking into your phone. So you get stuff like that. You can get all that cheap and still be really high quality, and again, much higher quality with that than anything I was using in my early days. So focus on making awesome content and use whatever you can get as far as equipment. Ada Wong asks, will you invite women on your channel?
No, he's sexist.
No, I would. I have to point out though, women can't really do apologetics. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute, you already have. You got vocab right here.
Yeah. No, but this is something. Notice there aren't a lot of women apologists on YouTube. You know what I mean? I should get. I keep wanting to get Hatu and Tosh from the UK on my show, but every time I'm about to say, hey, let's go live, it ends up being one of those times when I don't go live for like 5 or 6 weeks or something like that, so it never ends up happening. But definitely want to get Hatu and Tosh on there. Mary Jo Sharp would be cool, and there are female apologists, but I have to point out, ladies, I'm saying this for you ladies who are interested in apologetics, there aren't nearly as many women doing apologetics in public as there are men. So there's a big, we're talking about niche content, right? Niche content, finding a niche and jumping in there. I was at the table with Mary Jo Sharp before anyone had heard of Mary Jo Sharp. And it was me, Mary Jo Sharp, Nabil Qureshi, and we were out there in California. She was just going through the MA program at Biola. And she understood it back then. She understood, hey, there are not a lot of women in apologetics, so I understand if I do the hard work now and I start speaking and stuff like that, my ministry can take off. She was absolutely correct. Guess what? That's still true. So,
Roxby just said, what's up, Roxby? She said Mary Jo Sharp just started a channel. I didn't know that.
She did?
That's awesome.
Dope.
It's dope.
So good. And you guys check out some of our friends, Mama Bear Apologetics too. It's like a lot of female apologetics, and they're really good too. So check out Mama Bear Apologetics if you're interested in that.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a female apologist but can't find a woman, do the next best thing. Just look for somebody with long hair and feminine traits. You got Adam Coleman right there. You'll be all right.
Next best thing.
You guys are brutal.
Yeah.
Hey, here's
but on the urban apologetics tip, shout out to Lisa Fields and Nefertiti, although she's more on Facebook Live. But there's
Miss Titus too. We also got Miss Titus too, who's out there putting in dope work. Like you said, Nefertiti for sure, Lisa Fields, and definitely want to check them out.
Good look.
Hey, here you go. Truth and Courage says, Allah drowned the Pharaoh. Allah can punish you anytime, David Wood. Actually, I don't know if Allah drowned the Pharaoh, because if you read the Quran, you get it contradicts itself. So some of the time sounds like Allah drowned the Pharaoh, and other times Allah says He saved the Pharaoh. And so Allah doesn't even know whether He drowned Pharaoh or not. So how are you saying what Allah can do? You want to do a live stream on that, Truth and Courage? I'd be happy to go through the Quran and what it says. All right, here we go. This is from Eric Matson. Eric Matson said, "Hey guys, what do you think about podcasts?" This would be an area for Adam. Hey guys, what do you think about podcasts? It seems most apologists focus primarily on YouTube. Is there a reason for this? Jonathan and I, he's talking about Jonathan Mann. Jonathan and I are trying to figure out what is best. Happy birthday, David. So that's from Eric Matson and Jonathan Mann. They are Messianic Jews, and so they're basically up. They're guys who are getting started now. They've been doing they've been getting their academic backgrounds in place and stuff like that. But they notice that there's kind of Michael Brown, and then not a lot of other people after Michael Brown. So they're sort of jumping into that. But guys, what do you think about podcasts? And
nope,
I'm completely useless on this. I don't know if I'm sure I've been on someone's podcast, but I don't think I've ever made a podcast.
No, I'd say it's a target audience thing. Younger people just don't read blogs, and they don't typically listen to podcasts statistically. Usually they spend most of their time on YouTube. So if you're looking for the younger generations, YouTube's a better bet. If you're looking for around Wood's age, around like 70s to 80s age range, then you probably want to start a podcast. We're really about middle age. People tend to listen to podcasts more. So it depends on really your target audience. I think with that kind of topic there, like the Messianic stuff, it probably seems pretty fit for a podcast. There's a podcast I've been listening to lately called the Bema podcast. And it's from like a Messianic Jew and stuff too. But I like it because I'm, obviously into this stuff too. But they probably do well. So I don't know how the analytics and stuff work. Adam will be able to tell you in a sec. I don't know how the analytics work. You can see how many views and stuff people get. But I would assume that they are doing pretty well. But it's hard to say.
Yeah, so I've got a soft spot for podcasts. That's kind of how I cut my teeth as an apologist. I started with the True ID podcast. And, I was rebuked heavily, by my friends here. And with good reason. I mean, I think because John's right. Depending on who your target audience is, podcasts may not necessarily be right for you. I will say that there's some pros and cons, but ultimately, I think there's a bigger margin for error when it comes to like doing YouTube, to be honest, like believe it or not. Like with podcasts, you're either Joe Rogan or you're like nobody. It's just like there's not a whole lot of in between. You know what I'm saying? It's either you go big with it and you're a beast at it, or you're just gonna get like a couple views trickling here or there. And so that's kind of what you have to think about. Is like what kind of connection do you have? Like what kind of firepower do you have to promote your podcast? It's a lot harder to do than people realize. You know what I'm saying? My podcast was doing all right. I mean, I was getting a couple thousand, listens a month, which is fine. But interestingly, like it was doing better when I was kind of complementing it with YouTube content, where I was kind of allowing YouTube doing like a short video and then have that kind of feed one of the episodes I was doing. That's when the podcast really started to pick up. And so which really actually more so demonstrates the power of YouTube. So, take your target audience into account. Now, I will say I think there are some personality types that work better with a podcast than they do YouTube. So I kind of want to, leave that out there. 'Cause I mean, like my personality, like I love detail. You know what I'm saying, like I've got some podcasts where I was talking for like 3 hours, which is terrible. It's a terrible idea. You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, it just kind of worked, and I was able to get out everything I wanted to say, then break it into pieces, and end up being a couple different episodes, and it just worked like that. So if you're like real detailed and you just feel like you have to give everybody everything from A to Z when you're explaining just like some minor topic, then you might want to try a podcast because it gives you more freedom. Like your listeners are going to kind of come to expect that from you. Whereas, doing YouTube videos, nobody's going to sit around for 3 hours, for the most part, and watch you break down the Kalam cosmological argument. You got to kind of be in and out with it. So there's pros and cons. I'm tapering off from it. I'll probably, leave it alone. If anything, I might pre-record seasons at a time and then just kind of drop them just randomly. But for who I'm trying to target at this time, I've got to leave it alone. If I was full-time, like Apologetics, then I probably would, do both. You know what I'm saying? I probably would do a hybrid, but it's not in the cards for me right now.
Yeah, Jonathan Soko, he says, I don't know, the podcast market is huge. I'm not sure I agree with Adam.
Yeah, that's right, Adam. You don't agree.
Okay, son. I mean,
I was just maybe I just sucked
that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that.
No, I think.
Oh,
go ahead, Wood.
Yeah, so I guess
that's why I'm not discouraging people from doing it. I'm not saying definitely don't do it. I'm just saying that I met more challenges doing podcasting than I did doing YouTube. But that's anecdotal. I could be wrong. Go with your strength. If you feel passionate about it, ultimately, if you feel that's what God, is compelling you to do, or however you want to construe that theologically, then, go for it. You know what I'm saying?
There are some advantages of why to do it. For example, I mean, I know it's an odd advantage, but the copyright issues aren't as constraining. You can kind of play audio and even to a certain extent sometimes music. Now, depending on the platform, if you upload it to YouTube in your podcast, and those issues come into play. But you may be in a context where maybe a person has no access to any kind of video stuff and they only have audio stuff. A podcast is a solution for that. And so there are reasons to want to try to do it. Maybe a person wants to be a little more, I don't want to say secret of identity, but you can do YouTube videos, but it's sort of like, hey, where's this person at? Whereas a podcast, it's not as big of a deal if no one ever sees your face, although people might like it and stuff like that. Or perhaps, the person is super ugly. They're just really ugly. Podcasting is for you as well. You know what I mean? So there's some definite ways I would recommend to do it.
Sometimes, I'm saying this, and as I'm looking at cutting the podcast, I'm getting more emails of people like, oh man, I love the podcast. So it's like, there's a market out there, but ultimately you've got to look at your skill set. You got to look at your market. And I don't even like using the term market. I mean, it's just like the group of people that you believe will benefit most from your ministry. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of take a look at that and go from there. Yeah.
You know what I think is I think from a podcast listener, I can't subscribe to too many podcasts. So I'm subscribed to a few, but the problem is when the episodes are so long, like they're like an hour long or something like that, who has the time to listen to like a 3-hour podcast all the time, unless you have a job or something that caters to that, you know what I mean? Or you work out or something like that and you have the time to listen to it then. That's the problem with podcasts, is you can't ingest so much of it like you can YouTube, I think. And the younger generations are way quicker with their attention span. You know what I mean? So I think that's just how it kind of goes. So I'm just listening to one podcast right now, basically. You know what I mean? Even though I do like some other podcasts, but I just don't have the time to listen to them. So,
another thing too, and actually this will, I think, deal with like podcasts and like say lives, or like YouTube lives, is not like, now I'm going to kind of use a hip hop reference. This may, fail or not. I don't know. But like you got like different types of rappers. You know what I'm saying? You got some rappers who are great writers. You know what I'm saying? They can just write for days. You know what I'm saying? Very lyrically skilled, that kind of thing. And you have other rappers who maybe don't write as well, but they're off the top of their head, they can go freestyle with anybody. I mean, they can go for minutes on end. You know what I'm saying? It's just different skill sets. And I think the same thing applies when it comes to like podcasts and doing lives. If you're the kind of person where you have to like script out your podcast like word for word, then that's a lot of preparation time. You know what I'm saying? At least it was for me. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody, if somebody can just give you a topic and you can just talk about it, you know what I mean, and just go for like 30 minutes without really having to rely on notes, then podcasting you might be all right, because you're not going to have as much prep time. So you kind of have to think about that as well. That when you choose your outlet, in terms of how you want to get content out, what kind of person are you? How do you generate content, and what platform is going to be most conducive to you being able to be consistent?
All right, guys, we want to get off here in a couple minutes, so let's do some questions, but we'll do them quickly. This one's for Vocab. Valid Core asks, question to Vocab on adding music and audio effects. Do you run everything through a mixer, then to your PC, or just have a sampler on the side?
So I did not used to have. It's not a mixer. It's a soundboard. People might call it a mixing board. And so that's helped with the audio. My homie DJ Nex helped me actually set part of that up. And then the other thing I have is I pay for the more, this is kind of the cost of doing this kind of ministry. I pay for live streaming software, and on it allows you to integrate certain aspects of sound, where I can play audio, I can play video relatively easy as long as it's set up, as well as sound effects. Basically where I can just hit a button through the live streaming software itself. As long as I have the sound effects set up, I can play that. Because sometimes I play sound effects on my show, like I'll make a transition, I'll do the air horn, or different things like that. And I can do that all live, so it's like live kind of production on the spot. And sometimes there's misfires, but basically. Your live streaming software, you can set up all that stuff in advance. Now, it's good if you get a soundboard because you can basically move a lot of your sound work off of your PC, because your PC becomes really bogged down when you're live streaming and all this stuff is happening at once, or your laptop or whatever it is, your Mac, whatever it is. And so I do recommend doing that eventually. But really, you can do it with a good live streaming thing, and have it all set up kind of in your computer to start out. And so that's how I have sound effects and stuff like that, and audio effects. The reason I can do audio effects, even though I'm not using my live streaming software now, is because my mic is connected through a soundboard. And so that's why I can be like this, suckers!
Oh my goodness!
Wow, that's super cool. Follow-up question from Jenny. Why is that guy wearing sunglasses?
You want to know why,
Right
Jenny?
there.
Yeah, pink eye.
The reason is, Jenny, is because I am fire!
Oh my goodness!
He's crazy.
What a dork. Vocab's going through a phase right now where he thinks, okay, if my content isn't good enough, I just have to spice everything up with sound effects and visual effects.
Pretty much, yeah. That's exactly
Fire. Everybody loves fire.
It's like actors and actresses are like their career's pretty much done, so they go do a new scene or something like that. It's kind of like get that shock factor going.
Your Highness said, "Hi, David. Hey, bro. Who shot the video for your testimony?" That was my friend Josh. He works in Times Square, but he's also one of the guys who recorded Islamicize Me for us. We had 3 camera guys for Islamicize Me. They weren't all there at the same time, but we had 3. Well, on I think 2 days they were, but other than that, we kind of overlapped them because they had different schedules. But he's a camera guy who recorded that. And Pedro Jr. says, "Who is going to play Joseph Smith in the Boom Boom Room?" That would be me.
Yeah, right. That'd be me. Don't lie. Can't have my.
Oh, we should. That's what we should do. We should have John be Joseph Smith.
Muhammad will be all confused about it, asking questions from the sources about black folks from the LDS sources.
Or I could be blind. Remember, like that Dave Chappelle skit back in the day? Remember, he was blind and he was racist?
Yeah, Muhammad means blind Joseph Smith.
Let's see. All right, guys, we can sort of, for this last minute, everyone want to pick a comment they can address real quick. But John Buckley said, "David, I know you love classic rock. What's your favorite song by my favorite band, Aerosmith? Please don't say Walk This Way, overplayed." No, obviously, if you're talking Aerosmith, it would be Sweet Emotion. Anyone who says otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. All right, guys, let's see. You see anything? You see anything or
No,
should I
I
pick
Ask
some?
about theistic evolution. I don't know if y'all want to tackle that or not. That'd be it.
Oh yeah, let's talk on that in 1 minute.
It's like, no. That's why I was laughing. I was like,
Not as,
Because that won't backfire.
no, not
start a fight.
not in
right?
this short of a time. I wouldn't mind addressing it on the show and having some people on to discuss that. But
I know
yeah.
Vocab's a big fan of it. I know that's for sure.
I know.
Oh, I'm a big fan of theistic evolution.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you did the video on when I had the little cameo when you came on my video, people were like, I got a couple comments where people were like, is Vocab a Christian? I asked because I saw his Darwin hat. So people thought you were. It's pretty.
Oh,
funny.
they didn't understand that was like
In the Dillahunty Dawes video, yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
supposed to be
they
that's like
understand. Yeah, they thought that was
yeah,
just.
it's like an
yeah.
atheist cameo.
But I was like, how did they know your name then? If they're asking if you're a Christian, right? How would they know Vocab then? Because then if they know Vocab, they should know you're a Christian. So it was just weird. Anyways, it's funny.
I've got apparently have an image problem here. I've got to rectify. It's gonna be my next video. Yes, Vocab is a Christian, and I'll do it while I'm wearing my Darwin hat. Just kidding, everyone. I am.
It'll be a replay from like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'll just remix it. I am not an theistic evolutionist, and I know we have some friends who are, but we have our I have my disagreements with them on that. So, anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about that right now.
Vocab also believes the Earth is flat. By the way, you might want to throw that out there.
I did a few videos on that, talking to some flat earthers. Not from an advocacy position, just to clarify.
Don't try to backtrack now.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. You guys ready to wrap up?
All right,
What's
guys.
popping next?
Let's
What's
go ahead
happening
and
next
wrap
on
up.
all of our channels? Are
time
you
to
doing
take
some more
time to kick.
Flutang clans, David, or you got some other video? Like, what's popping? What's going on next?
Tomorrow I'm going to start posting my Resurrection series. I was going to start posting on April 1st, but I got sidetracked by all the stupid messages I was getting from certain people on coronavirus stuff. So I ended up doing multiple videos dealing with the coronavirus stuff, but we are getting close to Resurrection weekend, so I'm going to start posting those tomorrow. And so that's Wednesday, and then Thursday, I have to check my calendar, but I believe Thursday I'm going to be on here with Zachariah Boutros live. And so he also has a $60 million hit out on his head, so should be interesting.
Wow.
So what we need to do is take care of that little problem, collect the money.
There's my solution.
That's how we fund our YouTube channels as well as all of the ministries, and that'll be.
Guys, if there's ever a $60 million hit out on my head, go ahead and take me out. Take me out. Fund all your ministries forever.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
One of those situations, he's more valuable dead than alive.
It's for the gospel, man. We're doing it for the gospel.
For the gospel.
We could probably convince Sam Shamoon to actually do it.
He's crazy now, huh?
Then again, Anthony Rogers is an ex-con. Maybe he's down.
No, see, the problem with someone like Sam or Anthony is like I could have it in my mind. Okay, this person's gonna come kill me. I'm just gonna have to let him. But like instinct kicks in, you know what I mean? So they're gonna come, they're gonna do it, and all of a sudden instinct is gonna kick in. It's gonna be eye gouge, open hand chop to the Adam's apple, and they're going down. They're gonna be like, darn, you know, it's not gonna work. So yeah, I don't even know because I don't think any of these dudes could take me out, even if I was trying to let them.
Oh, snap.
Watch out, because Sam's got the wrestling moves he learned in wrestling college.
Bruce Lee, yeah. The Syrian Bruce Lee there.
So,
What you gonna do, brother?
yeah. What we got coming? So tomorrow or the next day, I'll release a video on the prosperity preachers in quarantine that I did with my wife. So yeah, that won't be out tomorrow or the following day, depending on. I gotta try to pace a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, probably out tomorrow. I'll probably do a video for this week.
All right, I'm excited to see that stuff, John.
Yeah, so I got some stuff, a couple live that I'm going to do about Hebrew originalism. Going to kind of bring an argument back. But actually, before then, either tomorrow or Thursday, still got to figure out which day it's going to be. I'm supposed to be on Braxton Hunter's channel, on Trinity. Braxton Hunter and my man, Jonathan Pritchett, man. I've been kicking it with Jonathan Pritchett. You know, we've been dialoguing back and forth. And I had Braxton Hunter on my channel last week, and he invited me to come on his channel this week. So probably tomorrow or Thursday, I'll be on with Jonathan Pritchett and Braxton Hunter at Trinity Radio, man. Yep.
All right, guys. So y'all know what's going on, and again, the links to Adam's channel, John's channel, Vocab's channel are in the description box, and so you have an idea of what these guys are going to be covering here. And so again, I'll
23rd.
be live.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I was not sure. 23rd.
Whoops.
That's when I start. That's when we start Islamicize Me on YouTube.com/vocab alone. And there's going to be all premieres, so you'll be able to talk to people in the live chat while it's happening. And then after that, every Tuesday and Thursday.
All right, so you'll definitely. So you want to subscribe to Vocab's channel for that, and even if you watched Islamicize Me a couple years ago, it's good to check it out. Check it out again, and he has the actual special edition. So, all right, everyone. Catch you all tomorrow with some videos, and Thursday again live.
That's right. Peace. Good night.
Happy birthday.
And happy birthday once again to me. Catch y'all later.
Fire!